This is the best way to prepare for the Los Isles update. I can own up to my mistakes when I'm wrong, and previously to today, I did tell you guys to stock up on butter cake, which more than likely is not going to be used during this update. So today, I'm gonna try just a little bit harder to make this so much more worth it. So whether you guys are getting back into LEGO Fortnite, or this is your first time trying to play the game in preparation for the big update that's coming up, make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button with the notification bell turned on, because you guys do not want to miss all of the news leading up to this update, as well as any glitches that happen after that update happens. Now, LEGO Fortnite is putting a ton of money into the advertisement for this update, and with that being said, some content creators are getting some goodie bags that contain things such as rope and then also a tent. And if that hints towards anything that has to do with this update, something you're absolutely going to need is some of these fabrics that exist in the game. And something that I like to do is put my villagers on them so I don't have to worry about it. I'm looking to get at least one chest full of nearly every single item, so I still have a ton of work to do in hopes that a rope or this new tent actually is something to do with this update. Now, a nice little trick that not everybody realizes is when you're putting your villagers onto certain jobs, if they have two different pieces of equipment that they can work on, blocking one off or actually just removing it entirely will stop any villagers from working on those and only give you what comes from the other machine. So if I were to put walls onto the spinning wheels, then they're not going to give me anything that comes from them. And if you're tired of your villagers being on food jobs and still giving you eggs or corn or even grilled meat, you could do that exact same trick to make sure they only give you food items that come from the oven. So same exact thing, either destroy the grill that's inside of your map, or just go ahead and put a wall in front of it so your villagers cannot get to it to actually start to cook. Now, Klomberries have been shown a lot by different content creators, which would indicate to me that we are absolutely going to get a new type of berry in the game, which is why getting these fabrics to make activated balloons and then to give yourself some of these activated farms is incredibly important. A few other glitches or tricks that you guys may not have known is if you guys have any berries in the game, they will continue to grow even with 0 in its storage, and wheat will constantly refresh back up to 50 after you sign out and right back in. And I've kind of shown off this automatic farm a bit too much, but when you guys create something like this, not only do you get a ton of food items or seeds back, but you get a lot of vines, which are extremely useful inside of LEGO Fortnite. And exactly like we talked about earlier when it comes to different fabrics in the games, vines could absolutely be something that is useful after a new update comes in with a jungle biome. Now, this also gives you the opportunity to grab some of the best food items inside of LEGO Fortnite. Something that I like doing right now is putting my villagers on to make me different food, but I also put my chillberry seeds inside to my cows to get chillberry shakes. And if you guys did not know, this is the most overpowered food item in LEGO Fortnite. It only takes you 2 total seconds to consume, but the buffs are absolutely amazing. It gives you 12 hearts, keeps you from the warmth for 10 minutes, and fills up a decent amount of your hunger. Now, another very interesting thing that we've seen with LEGO Fortnite's teasers is these floating islands, which would mean that the Grappler may be one of the best items that we can make in the game. Now, this is assuming that the rope doesn't come into the game, or maybe that we don't necessarily get ourselves any type of zip lines or anything to get on top of these mountains without building or using some sort of grapple or teleporter. So making yourself a ton of grapples is extremely easy to do with vine and copper bar, as they're very easy to find around this map. The more difficult thing is going to be getting yourself blast powder, but if you guys are near any dry valley or shore biome with your villagers, you can actually build a village inside of those areas and they will destroy all of the skeletons nearby that drop blast powder. Now, you need to go and get a ton of rift stations. This is something that they've mentioned is going to be in the new island, but you're going to need a ton of these to get to and from the island extremely quick. It requires a few different materials, but you can only get the rift shards from breaking already existing ones. You could check my map right now and you could see it's just straight lines going in a bunch of different directions, but you could see I marked a few of these. A lot of them go in that straight direction, almost like a grid. So finding these can be done in bunches. If you just go in straight lines all around the map, you're eventually going to see that blue beam just shining through the night. Now, something that you absolutely cannot go wrong with is going to be stacking up on the epic axes, pickaxes, longsword, hunting crossbow. Everything like that is going to be incredibly important when going to this area. Both the epic axe and pickaxe are going to be great for farming any new materials coming into the game, and the longsword and the crossbow are going to be huge when it comes to the new enemies. Right now, I'm stacking up on triple damage essence on my axes and my pickaxes. That way I make sure that I can grab whatever is coming into the game extremely easy. Now, putting those essence on there is not very easy, because you're going to need a ton of rough ruby. You're also going to need blast core, and if you guys want to make a ton of these, even if it's going to be with the luck essence or anything new that gets added into the game, you're also going to need rough amber and rough sapphire. But these will make your game so much easier. And if you guys are struggling to find any material in the game, whether that's blast core, ruby, amber, sapphire, or anything like that, I absolutely recommend going to Star Wars Island, as once you clear out the enemies in those caves, they do not respawn. So that means that any sapphire and amber that are inside of the dry valley or the snow biome caves, you're going to be able to kill the enemies and get every single one of those without getting attacked. And at the end, you get a lightsaber, which makes this game so much easier because they never break. Now, you guys also have to remember that because we're getting a brand new jungle area or a new island, it's very likely we're getting to get a new village square with that as well. And if we're getting a brand new village square, that's going to mean that we need the upgrade cost set up and ready to go. The way that the shore biome worked when that was introduced into the game was it matched the exact materials that came from the grasslands. So it's not confirmed exactly what's needed for a new jungle theme, if that is going to be considered its own biome. It obviously could require some brand new items that we have no idea about just yet, or it could also mean that we're going to use some of the materials that came from previous biomes. So what I recommend doing is making sure that you do have a chest filled with some of the items that you definitely need to upgrade your Frostlands or your Dry Valley village. That way, if it does just copy those requirements, you guys are set up and ready to go. So to wrap this video up, I would say just to collect the things that make sense. I wouldn't grab any items that are specific to a biome outside of upgrading that biome's villager square. I wouldn't worry too much about charms here. I do imagine we're going to get a ton of new content in this game, and that's why they're putting so much money into the advertising from all of these major YouTube channels that aren't playing LEGO Fortnite. They're absolutely anticipating that a lot of players are going to come back and touch this game, and with that being said, you want to prepare as much as possible with some of the little items that you don't really play with. So with that being said, I hope that all of you guys are excited for this new biome, and as always guys, this was Crafty, and I'm out. Peace.